You know, sometimes I forget how these things work. My dad tried to teach me how to use a Navi, but you don't always get it that easily. Man, my hat's in the way. I can hardly hear. Oh wow. Okay. Okay, maybe we're cooking. Oh, what? Maybe. Maybe. Just maybe. Huh. Alright. Let's smack this technology around a bit. Okay. That's something. At least a hint of progress. This is what happens when you get your wires and cables all crossed. Oh, ghostly. The internet sure is a wild place. It's rather peculiar. You know, sometimes you get delayed in these things because Alice is all like, you should go touch grass. And I'm like, Alice, honey, you don't get it. You need to touch keyboard. We've had enough grass. What about the keyboard? That's just Alice for you. Dragging me out places. Late into the night. Ugh. Sometimes I will never understand this girl. Let's see. Oh. Oh. Okay. Maybe I can find something here. Let's see what the collection of internet has to offer. Maybe I can pull something up. Something extra cool and interesting. Although sometimes it just really doesn't want to. Hey. Oh, yeah. Maybe that'll be something. I think this image is pretty cool. What was it called again? Oh yes, image 5. It was definitely a sight to behold. Really peculiar looking too. I don't know, maybe it kind of creeps me out a bit. It can be hard to tell at times. I mean, maybe I can pull it up over here. Where did that image 5 go? Ah! I found it! Alright. Well, maybe it's a little too big. Oh. That explained it a little better. What is it trying to say? Telling me to pick a lane? There's so many of me. No way, I'm just picking one. Not a chance. Well, I wonder what else there is here. What? Huh? Interesting. Oh wait, I know. That's not the one I'm looking for. Yeah, move that. Let's instead get... Haha! Hooray for not labeling. You know, maybe I'm starting to get the hang of these key things, whatever they're called. I don't know. Sometimes it just gets a little strange. I thought I'd be able to, like, offset the sink a bit, but maybe not. Alas, that's how things go sometimes. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna stop trying. No. I know what that was. Yeah. You stay in place now. I was maybe happy with your placement. Okay, maybe not, but there we go. Boom. I mean, that's interesting at least. At least it's entertaining. I mean, on my end, not on yours yet. Do I label things? No. Maybe we could use this. Oh. Huh? Okay. Where is it? Oh, I think the files just disappeared. What happened? Fine then. I'll figure it out. Alright, what truly says confusing? What are you? Oh, no. Wrong thing for sure. I thought it would be a cool big reveal. But maybe I really am just getting the bare grasp of the medium. Turns out labeling is key. Am I going to label it? No. Will I suffer because of it? Yes. Oh wait, I could literally just... Let me just check. What is the name of the thing? The stars are gone? Huh? How do I... Oh. Source 8, I think. 7 and 8, okay. Let's try that. Go for... Solar, 7 and 8. Try 7 first. Okay. Eh. Oh, where did 7 go? Peculiar. Fine then. Let it be. Let it be what it's going to be. Because everything's decided to not play nice with me. Fine then. Let's get this started. Oh wait. There was that other button to hit too. Oopsies. My bad. Whoop. Eh. let's go. And a 3, and a 2, and a 1. System is booting. Attempting alignment. Arise. Are the eyes connected? Perhaps not yet. The worlds are dividing, moving, detaching, separating. That's not the goal. Better refuel with some hot dogs. Scrumptious. A feast of fine feet. What a phenomenal dog. Or two. 3. Slight squish. Oh, sorry. Didn't like my food choices, so I'll just rip my heart out. You know, it takes a lot of time to make these hearts and tear them out. Years of work went into that. You always have to remember to eat a bit of dirt. Take your licks at times. You gotta grow from those things and move forward or embrace them. You gotta draw out the roadmap, figure things out little by little. And you might just end up with a pile of notes you ignore and don't want to fix, but there's good notes you have to remove from all the to-do lists. We'll do that later. They'll just become better paper. Never forget the wonderful advertising and film break. Gotta cut your videos, do your bits, get a worm suit on. Very, very exhausting, that one, and overheating as well. So be careful on that front. But you gotta spread the word a little bit. And don't be afraid of getting your hands dirty or wet. Fear the glitter maybe, just a little bit, but if Craven's not around, it's fine. Gotta make yourself up one page at a time, building that book. It's not always going to be perfect, won't always line up or be a clean pull, but you just keep pressing one page at a time till you get the result. That's all we can do. Synchronization attempt 2. Is it lining up? Maybe we need to put more energy into it. Are we thinking in the right mindset? Are we just sabotaging ourselves? No. We just have to move the energy to somewhere else. Something maybe just out of sight. We might not have seen it on one side, but perhaps on the other side. You know, there's often things hidden behind those corridors, secrets in the couch. That's not to say there isn't a slog on the back end. I would much rather be a lovely worm. But that doesn't mean work does not need to be done. Gotta do the updates, the editing, the website management, and all that jazz. Someone has to make these things. That's not to say we can just simply forget the classic getting ready for the show. Again, those items fall off. You gotta maintain them. Get your hearts on, your nose in place. Maybe glitter someday. That might be a mess. But even then, that's not always enough of a power-up to reach for the world you're looking for. Strengthen and power up. Sometimes you gotta Google from above. Those googly eyes, no. Time draws near. Put our googly eyes on and get things done. So, let's put on a show. And let the goofy go! Yeet. Okay. Well, look. I wasn't exactly on time. But, I mean, I still think I did a pretty bang-up job. I just wanted to make a little goofy. Help me do a goofy thing. Oh, that's too much. Ah. Nah. Trying to make it just ever so slightly spooktacular. Wait. I have a brilliant idea. Just like, Okay, I didn't remember how to do everything, but I did cook a bit. Okay. Maybe let's, boom. And by boom, I obviously mean a field. We're in a field that no one asked us to be in. But, I mean, what do you expect? Like, couches can be vicious, you know? Oh, you didn't hear about the couch? Yeah, it was pretty bad. I mean, I don't know how to explain this to you, like, you give a couch teeth, and you kind of enable it a little bit, you know? You can't just expect that everything will be all fine and happy. Like, the couch is going to get you. And the computer will get you just as much. Oh my. Yeah. It truly is a wonder. Ow, did I make it angry? Open the file. I demand it. Couch time. Can't smack buttons whilst it's loading things. Otherwise, it just all goes kablooey. But I mean, what do you expect? It was always going to be a very adventurous run. Alright. Spooky sock time. There was some explaining to do here. Do I remember the socks? So here I was, just figuring it was gonna be a normal, nice little day. Chilling on the couch that I gave some teeth. That was fun. Pleasant little start. But Lain saw all these little cables lying around and was like, why don't we just explore the web? See what's out there, huh? Gotta join in on the wired. And it seemed innocent enough. Lain's a little quirky like that. Very clashing, doesn't touch grass enough type thing. So I was like, this'll be fine. Right? Like, there's nothing to worry about. I mean, they then saw the couch, and they got a little more curious about the couch. And I was like, what? It's just a couch. What? But they thought it was more than a couch. And I wasn't so sure on that front. So I was like, alright, sure, you have at it. But the couch came alive a bit. And then it just... things got a little bit dark. I've never seen a couch eat someone. Never in my life. But Lain was like, don't worry. We've got this. And I was was like, Lain, I feel like technology's gone back several eras. I'm a bit concerned. Everything started to get disorienting. It moved, it wiggled, it wobbled, it confounded, and almost suddenly just ate. And I was like, no. No. Lain, come back. And I mean, they did. I don't think things were ever really the same. Like, what happened? Are you really the same Lain I knew? I don't know. But things just kept getting more messy and tangled. I couldn't see the same person, the same face I'd seen before. There was no going back. It was just a new Lain. One more connected to the internet. The wired, plugged in, all the info. And that was terrifying. Yeah. I mean, normally right about now, it would be time to boot up the model, but I'm not sure if that's what's gonna happen. So let's see what happens here. Alright. Got the little ears. Wiggle the wobble. Present day. Present time. Present year. That was not what we expected, now was it? Oh no, absolutely not. But sometimes you get stuck in that TV. So hey, here's to being stuck in a digital era. I didn't ask for this. I think, frankly, I might be a little bit more Alice than Lain. But hey, just because we didn't start all connected into the wired doesn't mean we can't end that way. Why can't we cross both worlds? Are we not allowed to traverse all of the planes? I think we can. Why should a little VTuber, or a paper person for that matter, be stuck only digitally? I think we can reach more eras, more places and lands. Why not, huh? I mean, I don't really see why we can't. Alrighty. Alright then. I think it's time we get everybody the stuff together. Okay. Oh, almost jumped to the wrong scene. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Boom. Whee! Huh? Where are we? What happened? What? Oh! Okay. So the things that didn't show up before, they now exist again. Huh. We can just, like, multiply that? Yeah, there we go. I was so confused why these weren't showing up before. But here we go. Now, the one thing I haven't quite figured out, since I didn't set up a secondary camera, is how to have digital me and face me sync at once. It gets a little bit angry. Probably a plugin for that. But that's okay. Okay, maybe multiply is not the answer. We like Lain. Oh. Alright, well. Alright. Let's turn off digital. Won't. And let's add on this one. Huh? Oh, I have to go to the original device. Boom. Okay. That's an interesting feature. It's all a part of the system. Definitely a part of the program. Ooh. I actually really like the glitch. I fear if I hit add. Ooh. Okay. Still interesting. Might be a little much though, so let me filter it so we don't hurt people's eyes. That's the nice thing to do. Just a color correction will do. Just turn it down. There we go. Yeah. That's a more friendly on the... Okay, maybe. Oh, I could slow down the speed too. That would be smart. There we go. Nice. I mean, we could use with some of the other things in the land. Like, what happened to the phone? What happened to most of the things? I don't understand. Ooh. Bah. Okay, fine then. No? I really don't understand. What happened here? Where did everything go? That's the file. That's the thing. It should exist. Oh, I know. It's you. Okay. I think we're cooking now. Because I can now grab this and put that under there. Haha. Yes. Alright. This was definitely spookier than expected, but when you're dealing with me, what do you expect? Here's how we bring present day and time and year into a new era. Okay, I can change the blend mode now. Yeah. Multiply? Nope. Nope. My bad. Screen. There. And it doesn't hurt the eyeballs. Yes. I would call that a win. But, I mean, another win would be having a text box. Okay, maybe... Yeah. Boom. Haha. Yes. The temptation to say yummers. We gotta. I mean, we just gotta, right? I need to know. Yes! Yummers is so satisfying. It shouldn't be what it is. Yeah. I mean, we could readjust these things, though. Whoop. Whoop. That way we'll have an offset. Yeah. Look at that skill. Look, Lain gets to play around with technology, so do I. So do I. I swear there is a way to, like, just add a delay. Cause it's like a magic property thing? I don't... How would I add a magical delay? Bum 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 ba dum ba dum bum dum bum bum ba dum. Oh, there's literally a thing that just says render delay. Haha. I don't know. Let's try 5. Lucky number. Okay, 5 milliseconds is not gonna make much of a difference. Well, my bad. Alright. Let's try 5? No. 300. Yes! Oh my gosh. Okay, that's more fun. I know this is supposed to be a heart-to-heart, but sometimes a heart-to-heart is literally just having fun figuring it out. Like, sometimes I'm just like, I know how to do this thing, or make that. And then you get kind of bored, and then you're just like, well, maybe I'm not doing things right then. Most people don't like chaos. They can't handle it. I'm quite the opposite. I thrive on this juice of destruction. But I don't like destruction, so instead I just have a million papers and they just clutter everything, so it requires nightly organization of the papers, or otherwise they'll just go everywhere. And I'm like, no. I had one thing. Song list. I just needed the song list because I had the one that had like more than 30 different songs of like, these are possible things that could be sung or suggestions. And then I condensed it down. I was like, these are the ones that have to be on there. I don't know where that list is. I have 2 entire bins of just papers I've written on, and I can't figure out where it is. It's not in the pile of relevant things that I kept aside on purpose. So yeah. I'm not all that happy. Because that means it could be in the other bin and I don't want it to be. Whoa! Oh? Okay, that's extra fun. Oh. Alright, what if we go screen? Ooh. Ooh. Eh? No. Multiply. It looks so scary at times. I don't think multiply is a winner. Lighten. Oh. No, but that's just spooky. And not the good kind of spooky. Oh. Oh. Yeah. This isn't quite hitting the mark. Normal. I mean, that is pretty funky though. Okay, what if we go back down? See, it's only by experimenting that you get to have this fun. Oh, nope. Gonna be the same issue, isn't it? Meow. Kind of. Multiply? Oh, meow. Kind of the same. Oh. Oh, actually, the syncing is really fun. Well, I'd prefer to not have a void of a backdrop. Multiply. I mean, the answer could be just to tint this. Beep, 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 pew. Color correction. Yes. The fun of doing all this is the constant learning. Because you'll get bored if not. Gotta keep things entertaining and exciting. We gotta go with purple. Purple's the best color. You will not convince me otherwise. Whee! And then for the darker color, we'll go with like purple. Yeah, dark purple. Boom. Ow! I burnt up my face. Wait. Oh. Oh. That's kind of spooky. Okay. What about if I move the ammo? Ooh. I got that flaming hot Cheetos. I'm trying to hold you. Oh, okay. That is doing a little bit more of what I'm looking for. Yeah. Alright, I'm happy with that. Although, the temptation to bump up saturation. Nah, we're good. We're happy. We're good. It's all good. The scaling is off, though. Whoop. Haha. You gotta learn one way or another. Ugh. Okay. Boom. Boom. Those broad shoulders in there. We don't need to broaden the shoulders, we need to broaden the horizons. Ha-ha. Oh, it's the over top one that I have letting the other shine through. Okay. I'm happy with that. Yes. Oh wait, where did I put? Oh no. Oh, I didn't label things again. Ha ha ha. Only me not labeling things. Although I'm certain other people have the exact same shtick. Why label something when I can do not that and struggle? It's a choice and I'm happy with that choice. Sometimes. Only sometimes. Whee! Ew, spooky. Boom. I'm going to project beyond normal planes. I know you can't actually see what I'm doing right now, but I choose to say it's interesting. Believe it, like Naruto. Yes. Alright. And then it goes boom. And this goes blue blend mode. Oh my. Wow. Ooh. Brilliant idea. Oh my gosh. It happened in the other thing by accident, but, hear me out. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Wait, no. We're gonna make... Okay, no, I just have to flip the other one. Do the flippity flop. Boom. Ah! Oh my. Okay, fine. We'll do that. Boom. And go like that. Oh yeah. Look at this totally normal average Joe screen space. It screams, I know what I'm doing tonight. Oh. Is this the good spot? Yeah. Alright. Ooh, yeah. Wahoo. Okay, I'm actually really happy with that. Yeah. That will tone this down. Give me... Wait. Oh. Eh? Huh? What? Oh, it's just a blend on this. Oops, my bad. Or is it? Yeah, it's just a blend mode on this. My bad. Okay. Blend mode. We're done having fun here. Boom. Oh. Okay, I mean, that's interesting too. Hey. No, no, no. We don't get to be this way. We get to... Boom. I think that's worse. We're going normal mode. Fine. Normal is, and we add a filter. And it's just gonna be a color correction. And we just go boop. Okay. Bum, bum, bum. There we go. Yummers. Oh. When the heart-to-heart starts with, I constantly fiddle with technology because I cannot accept anything less than maximalist mayhem. Ooh. Oh, because I did it to the source. All the other sources are slightly lighter. I see. Alright, fine. I will use other methods. Let's go back to... Too much. So, gotta tone you down. But just enough that it's still... Yeah! Perfection. It might be present day, time, year, but Lain's still figuring things out. Don't you remember? Omnipotence isn't everything. Just because it's omnipresence, or there's prophecy, or it's foretold, doesn't mean it will. It's but one of many outcomes. So, instead, we're going to figure out what it is we have to do. So, I think first of all, we need to figure out people just aren't open. They won't share their heart and spread their rings. I don't know how many times now, but my family have always said, whatever it is you do, whatever weirdness you get up... Ah! Okay, that was weird. Everything disappeared. Whatever weirdness you get up to, don't cry in the shower on video. That was the whole shtick. It was, you can do whatever else, but please, do not make crying in the shower the video. The temptation to do that has been so much. Like, it's not even in the nude or anything. It's just, like, grieving, just crying, and having a shower. That's it. But that piece, for whatever reason, has stuck with my parents for years, and they're just like, don't do that. Man, my classmate's great. So proud. That was I love that piece. Because, I mean, the fact that my parents were so upset by it is entirely the point. It's not supposed to be comfy. You know? Grieving isn't usually all that comfy. So why would you not cry in the shower? It makes sense. I love how that's the line, though. But I mean, hey, you gotta start somewhere. Oh, it's like doubling my hands, woo! And I mean, realizing that you don't know what a hashtag is most of the time, like, I understand the concept, but if you asked me just the other week or so, like, how to hashtag the whole "would you love me if I was a worm" thing, I could not tell you. I'm not joking, I actually had to look it up. I was, like, typing in, I'm like, how does one, like, okay, let me not smack keys too much, but how does one, hashtag worm love type thing of, like, the "would you love me if I was a worm"? I genuinely had to look it up. And I don't even think there was a general, like, overall solidary consensus. It plain and simply might have been a case of, some people are like, worm GF. So that's what I went with. Even figuring out, like, Q&A today, I didn't know what to do for a Q&A hashtaggy thing. Because, like, it's not necessarily that people have to send in questions, it's more so just questions being put to the air of advice. And alas, my internet vocabulary has lacked for years. It took me till, like, almost beginning of high school to basically even acknowledge YouTube's existence. Genuinely. It took so much effort on my friends to try and explain, like, this is where this thing is, and this is what that is, and I'm like, I don't know to this day. I mean, like, Vine. Like, before Vine popped off, at the very early stages, like, I went on, I don't know, 5-second thing of, like, fake running up to punch the camera, and, that was it. That was my interaction with Vine. And yet, to this day, I am haunted by Craven quoting so many random things that I'm like, I have no idea what this is. Never heard of it. And Craven's just like, it's obviously Vine. And I'm like, there's several different things. It could be Ace Attorney. It can be Pokemon. I mean, if it's Dr. Stone, I probably know it. There was the whole Skate the Infinity phase as well. But, like, for the most part, it's either those things or Vine. Yeah, that's it. And I just don't know those franchises or things. And, like, even then, like, within the Minecraft sphere, Craven watched, like, a whole different set of Minecrafters than I did. So they'll, like, reference things and I'm just like, I don't know what this is or what's happening. And then I'll also just randomly yell, like, you left the door ajar! And, yeah, it's totally lost. But hey, that's okay. We all need to accept that we don't get to know everything and be omnipotent. Though we might try. And that's kind of the fun part as well. E? Oh? I thought that was the thing that was attacking earlier. The media source. Oh wait, does it have a filtering or a blend mode? Nope. Okay. Bloom. So ultimately, it's the choose your own adventure. And that's the thing. It's kind of a know the rules of the game and what you can alter of the formula and what has to stay. Because as much as it'd be nice to make super cool rainbow multicolored inks, like, if you don't use the right materials for the inks to bind, doesn't matter how cool and rainbow-tacular it is, it's not gonna work. Yeah. You learn that the hard way. And this is why I have to sit and make ink from hand, because I want it to be cool multicolor and stuff and transformational. But, it's the same with everything. You gotta kind of learn your bits, and then you build on that. Like, this scene was essentially built mostly in real time. I had duplicated the camera, that was about it. all of the other effects and stuff I've just managed to do on the fly. And you get through. You build it up. Wow. And then you learn some things that you just truly cannot muster. Lizard eyes. I can't do the lizard blink. I just can't. I do such a bad job at it. Ah, wrong order. I've stared at Craven for 5 minutes, like, we're just doing this back and forth, trying to lizard eye, like, blink at each other, and I just cannot do it, and we're laughing so much. Oh, it stings. But it's okay to admit that. I don't think, oh, sorry, microphone. I don't think many people are gonna really roast you for not being able to lizard eyes. Not liking pie? No, that's acceptable. You can politely roast and dunk on people a little bit for not liking pie, just because pie's a yummy food. I don't know why pies, oh, I do know why. It's texture. Pie is like wet or whatnot, and texture-wise, so I had a buddy who does not like pie. They don't even like soup too much either, and other foods, and I'm like, I'm upset at this. Very upsetting. But, I mean, it's no harm, really. It's all good. Yeah. Gotta be able to have a sense of humor about things. It's so interesting to have, like, interactions with people I don't know as well versus the people that I've, like, interacted with so much. Because I am so used to just being asked the most personal of questions, like, I'm just showing random things as like, what is your thoughts on, like, this random kink or something? I'm like, huh? We're just, like, walking in public, or, like, getting on a bus to go somewhere, and then this random, like, what on earth am I looking at is thrown at me, and I'm just like, why? I can answer, but, like, why is this the timing? Why is this when you're asking? I don't get it. But no, you don't get to throw out the absurd questions and then get upset for someone actually answering them. You asked. Deal with the consequences of your asking. Man, that was not the rant I expected to have. But that's okay. This can be kind of a yappy thing. I don't know if audio level wise it'll be like super chill, like just listen to in background. But I mean, this is a way of talking. Flashbacks to other different methods of conversation. Like when you talk to these people or whatnot, you like kind of talk in this way, and then when you talk to like these people, it's like this manner of talking. And while there is different communication styles and delivering of information verbally, and like, oh, I remember having a conversation, like kind of, I don't fully remember it correctly, but kind of like code switching of like certain things or knowledge spheres that like different words will mean different things, or associations of inside jokes. So there's that, but the method I was talking about just does not exist. Yeah, no, but that's not the answer. If you are having a conversation about there being different types of conversationings and speaking things, then yeah, you're being a me, and you're overthinking, and neurodivergency at its finest. Woo! It is what it is. And that's kind of the problem. You get into your own bubble, and then you can't see everything else. You're not entirely oblivious, but also you don't really get to place yourself outside of yourself as easily. Like, a lot of the other people in the art spheres would be like, I have no idea what's going on here or how any of this does this. Or you're making tea and coffee, and then you are having a conversation on how if you wait 3 minutes and then add your milk, it'll be cooler than if you added your milk right away and then waited 3 minutes. And, like, we just literally pop off and we're just like, oh yeah, it's just, like, quantum mechanics and stuff because it's the law of conservation of energy and matter and whatnots can't be, like, destroyed. It has to be, like, just exchanged or transformed. So, yeah, newsflash. That's why wait several minutes and then add your, like, cold milk or water or whatever to your tea. Because if you add the cold thing when the thing is super hot, it takes more energy to change the temperature to reach an equilibrium again. And so therefore, it's exerting more heat. It stays hotter longer because it has to produce energy. And that's the issue. Yeah. Gotta be a little careful on that. I am guilty of that mistake many times. But then I'll also just make my tea and forget about it for hours, so it's a choice. It's fine. So yeah. Let yourself do your thing. Because whilst you can pick apart certain other things and methods of seeing or understanding, it's always a lot harder to do it for yourself. It's such a frustration. For years, it's like, I can look at any complex system or thing, or how other people's, like, doing something, and I can, like, analyze, break it down, and figure out how the things do and move and parts work. Do that for myself? No. It's a struggle. You know it's bad when you spend, like, more than an hour giving a presentation on a project that you're doing to try and explain yourself, and you can't even explain the project because it's about explaining yourself, which you can't do. And so it took the entire class more than 40 minutes, and it's just like, okay, at this point, we just gotta give up and just say yes. And that's the thing. That's a blessing and a curse. Because whilst they're still willing to be like, you do your thing, it's also just like, I don't have direction or feedback from the thing done. Because they couldn't understand, they just have trust in me that I'll do a thing and make a thing. It's a difficult place. It's the same thing with, like, this is a stream. To some people, this is content. But to me, like, I've treated so much of this as art-based and performance in a way. Like, I can't unsee the art brain of every single choice and matter of creation is under scrutiny and interrogation. Which it isn't. Yeah, most people won't notice half the things. I'm just like, this tiny pixel was out of place, or I'm gonna put a painting in the background because then next time I go and cook there, I can switch out the painting and then it can be like another painting and it can highlight and show other people's paintings and works and stuff that I've collected. Yeah. People don't think about dancing with a sock puppet on a live stream and then get upset because they realize they did, like, the capture method wrong because of technical limitations at the time, and there was a mouse cursor on their face the entire time they had an interview with a sock puppet. Yeah, I legit cried for, like, 2 hours after that. I was so mad. I was like, I can't believe you didn't tell me, Craven. Like, ah! Because it would have been a really easy fix if I had known. I could have just moved my mouse, but, yeah, that didn't happen. And whilst in the grand scheme of things it's unimportant, it's just like you'll get so in your head that you can't unsee that and just be like... And for most people, it's like, they don't want direct criticism or things at times. And I mean, sure, there's a difference between, like, unsolicited criticism and, like, you just want feedback. Because a lot of people are not good at giving criticism nowadays. But as an art student, I'm so used to it. Like, I got so upset because I'm like, these are the art students, we know how to give criticism of things. And even from university professors, they're just like, you did a thing, I don't know how to unpack this or explain it, but yay. And it's not that they didn't like it or appreciate it, there wasn't a concern of merit or value. It's just, they can't place it. Because the art world, even in its flexibilities and obscurities of like, you can just eat a book as a performance. Yeah. My friend always memed on how I could just show up to class and be like, this is my performance piece. I am eating a packed lunch. And I'm like, you're a jerk. I worked so hard for that class. But, yeah. You can do stuff like that. Like, I made an entire magazine of ceiling fans based on the pun of OnlyFans, but it's like just pictures of ceiling fans and like folding fans and stuff. Yeah. Not the critique I thought was gonna happen, but it took like 20 minutes for the entire class to explain to our teacher what OnlyFans was. And I'm like, I don't feel like that should be the question here. How do you not know? And then I actually had talked to a teacher from years back in high school, and they're just like dunking on this teacher kind of like jokingly. They're like, okay, like I'm much older than this person for sure, and I know what OnlyFans is. And I'm just like, see, I'm not crazy. It's just a known thing now. But hey, you gotta have your fun. Because whilst it seems absolutely humorous, like, it genuinely gets the point across. Like, all my classmates were like, this is hilarious and funny, but if you read the text and you look at how the images are, like, portrayed, like, this is legitimately in line with all the, like, so-called scary and sensual stuff that the internet is just like, oh my gosh, we gotta hide this, and schools are like, let's not talk about it at all, ever. And I'm like, if you can literally get the idea across with just a ceiling fan, then I don't see why we should be so afraid of it. Because yeah, like, some people can be rude about things or whatnot. It's also just like, plain and simple, nah. There's no reason to be so upset or uncomfy. Like, if someone's actually just like, it's upsetting them or like, too much, then yeah, don't do that. But like, the fact that even just mundane things you can't really have conversations with other people about is really frustrating and troubling. Because I'm not joking when I say, like, just knowing and even having basic understanding makes things so much safer for everyone. Like, knowledge is the power. It's the power that be. It's how we predict stuff, it's how we can place judgments of, like, outcomes or consequences. It's how we can find some guidance to try and avoid missteps or getting hurt in ways. Like, you gotta be able to actually communicate. Because if even having any sort of conversation is, like, just incapable of happening, then have you really communicated? I think not. So yeah, that's why I stick to the absurd lane. Because frankly, only by asking these absurdities do we actually get a better picture of the world. Not all of them are going to be the grandest of schemes. Like, it took me a while as well, the whole, I don't know if it was chicken noodle soup, but cans of soup on world-famous painting. Like, that seems odd, hard to place how that's supposed to save the world or whatnot. But it was about the symbolism of the statement, of the gesture. It was everyone screaming and so mad that soup was thrown on this painting versus, like, planetary ecological collapse. I was like, oh, I finally get it now. It wasn't about soup being the choice. It was about the absurdity of the act that we got so upset over not safety or planetary well-being. It's just a soup on painting. How dare. Blasphemous. It's like a Clement Greenberg essay. I feel like a lot of people think my stuff is so, like, out there and probably use the term avant-garde to describe it, and I'm honestly offended. The avant-garde is fine and acceptable. I wouldn't classify this as that movement, and I don't want to because Clement Greenberg was a butt, and he would not allow for glitter and sparkles because that's considered kitsch and campy. I literally had a teacher tell me, no, you don't use glitter and sparkles and stuff because it's like cheap or kitsch and campy type thing. And I'm like, but I like that. You just don't appreciate sparkles. And I understand it was an early on project, so acceptable. But I still get a kick out of finding your photo, like, submits an entire thing of, like, all this sort of, like, back-end photo stuff and how I produce or make things. This is not photography. This is not photo enough based. That was why my mark was docked. And I'm like, literally, if I just changed nothing and said I stand behind the earlier thing I put into the show, and, like, there's my final piece, I probably would have gotten a better grade. But I don't care. I wanted to share my stuff. That's what mattered to me. And, like, I'm honestly not offended with that. The grade was fine. It's just so funny because that comment kind of lives rent-free in my head. And then I, like, look at my entire photo album catalog of, like, for all the thumbnails and stuff and the elements of making things, and I'm just like, almost every single one nowadays for, like, time effectiveness is photo-based. Like, it's not that there aren't drawn elements and things, but I used to sit and hand draw, like, digitally on my iPad all of the thumbnails, and it took forever. So, yeah, maybe don't do that if you can avoid it to some extent, especially if you're a maximalist like me. Yeah, that's a lot of work. Where it's just like, I can literally just take a PNG image of my VTuber and whatever pose thing, and then I can, like, just warp it and manipulate it and do all these other augmentations, and it's like, that gets the job done, gets the message across. And sometimes I might want, like, a very specific character piece, but most of the time I'm just, like, just using blend modes. That's literally what it is. Most of this, aside from sort of things like the delay or pixelation, is, like, it's just making use of blend modes mostly, and all sorts of photo processing techniques. Most people say, put your little, like, gray card in your photo so you can get the correct white balance and lighting. And I'm just like, you know me, professor. I don't work that way. And it was so funny looking at my, like, documentation shots of the show, because, they were just like, wow, the lighting is, like, so, like, yeah, like, really well balanced and stuff. And I'm like, you absolutely know I didn't even touch a gray card. I didn't even have one or bring one. I just took all those shots manually, and I just eyeballed them. I'm not joking. I didn't even really realize you could, like, make just a LUT that you, or, like, a settings that you then copy over to all your other shots in the same lighting conditions. Yeah, no, I sat and just did each one by hand. Because I'm a maniac like that. Like, I have the eye coordination now that I can just, like, woo. I literally can just, like, see it and then be like, that's it. Move this dial that way. Like, I just slide the dials to extreme variations. I'm like, okay, this is gonna move these parts. And then I just counterbalance. And you just sort of build up these skills over time. Same thing with, like, converting colors to values. I had the most neon paper ever, and my teacher walked over and was just like, I think your values are messed up here. Like, this is totally wrong. And I'm like, no. I took a photo and I used the little converter to grayscale thing on the photo so that I knew which value was higher. And then I've made it based on that because the sheer, like, vibrance neon of the paper was so potent you couldn't tell for some of them. Like, highlighter green and yellow, they kind of look the same. But then when I took a picture of the piece afterwards to show them in, like grayscale, they're just like, oh yeah, no, you're totally fine. Ignore what I said. And I'm like, okay. Thanks, professor. It's so funny because I was always concerned. I'm like, you never talk to me. Like, they'll talk to everyone else in the room and they're just like, no, I'm just letting you cook, do your thing. And I'm like, okay. So be it. But yeah, it's a blessing and a curse of a policy in a way. Like, I want the feedback. But it was so hard to get. Because again, you can't always place the maximalism, the things I just accept as state of being and whatnot.
They're just like, I can't even place this. I don't understand what's happening. And it's a time limit as well. Because it's much simpler to be like, this landscapey painting thing, yes, that, it needs this element, versus, yeah, I just, like, duct taped myself and lost leg flow for a while because, I had to make the form to then wrap in fabric to then project a digital painting on. It's fine. Like, there's only so much you can do at that point. Yeah. When you go to a painting class and you submit everything but a painting. I still agree with it, though. I had fun. The Cooking Up ASMR was actually for a painting class. It was based on a painting I had done on a mirror, and then I was like, I'm just gonna make this out of sand. But I didn't have a good way of storing it, and I had done one with, like, some glue to cement it in place, but too much glue and water meant sand go everywhere, and it was a mess. So I was like, we'll just use a pan. So I yoinked Craven's frying pan, and then I made it into a sand pan. I don't think that joke really panned out. Oh, the frying pan into the oven. What? Yeah. So we still have sand in that pan, I think. I don't even know if we've cleaned it. It just was sitting on the counter for, like, months on end. It's okay. It's more so concerning of the jump scare that I've left that entire body double, like, just... I usually tuck it in. I leave it in, like, the little bed tucked in. And then if, like, a guest goes over or whatnot, they'll, like, see it and they'll be like, what? Who's in there? Who's in the bed? What's happening? But yeah, I have, like, a body double of me. And so when I, like, go and, like, have a nap, I can just, like, snuggle up with body double me and be like, night-night. It's so fun to have such absurd things. I also like how... Oh, this is an interesting bit. VTubers are usually not knowable in a way, or, like, hide IRL selves. And so there's, like, that extra layer of anonymity. And, like, if you're in person with people, and, like, it's a non-threatening way, like, anonymity kind of makes them more comfortable talking to you. Whereas, like, there's actually sort of been this whole, like, distrust a lot of times I found with people over VTubers. They're just like, I can't know who you are or place you type thing, so therefore, I don't trust that. But, like, you do the exact same thing outside of being a VTuber or just, like, chatting online, or even just being dressed as a frog in person and talking to people. And, like, oh my gosh. Like, I dress the same way aside from the giant frog mask. And, like, I would talk the same nonetheless. But so many people, just because I was in a big old frog mask and whatnot, like, they literally sat down for, like, 30-minute conversations with me. And, like, we're just asking for advice. And I'm like, man, I wasn't expecting to give love advice at this point, but, like, let's go. Let's be a frog. And it was so interesting, because they're just like, this was such a good conversation, like, so comforting. And I'm just like, this is how I talk all the time. I don't know. And that's kind of an interesting parallel. Because pretty much, even my friends, I've had many discussions with dear Basil, and, yeah, like, I can't place it. I'm always trying to figure out how am I supposed to explain this to other people. Because, well, yeah, I'm obviously not dressed as Lain every day. I did an outfit swap because I was filming a different thing earlier. But, like, when your parents are just like, why do you have 3 mouths on your face today? Because, like, I did lipstick of, like, side mouth here and here. And I'm just, like, covered in fake blood. And I'm just like, oh, no, it's just, like, Tuesday. Like, that is the normal. And so, when other people see that, they're just like, you're so brave. And I'm like, I don't know, this is just normal. It's hard to place and get perspective on that. And I stand by my TA's all-time favorite comments I've ever given been given as, like, feedback. I had done the first big solo show, and the most resounding explanation or feedback critique bit I got from it was literally, I'm not a performer, is what they were saying. They said that I do performance art, but, yeah, I'm not performative. I just is, and just genuinely do and believe and explore. Like, it's not that I can't give a performance, or, like, act, per se. It's just that the intention and the seeming absurdity of things is by choice, it's by design. Like, you don't just wake up one morning and be like, haha, I'll just, like, be a little worm. Like, no. No. Dog was borking outdoors or something, so I was like, well, I can't film just yet, so I'm just gonna spend the next 6 hours crocheting a worm suit. And so I did. So then I had the worm suit to do some worming around. Because magical worm transformation, and it also makes a very good sleeping bag. I also love how my parents were offended by the idea that I wanted to give the couch teeth. And I'm just like, I think it's cool and funny. And they're just like, no, the obvious answer is you're supposed to make eyeball pillows. And I'm like, why didn't I think of this? I need to make eyeball pillows now. Like, I'm just proud that we finally have a tongue for the couch. It's still gotta be made into, like, a proper little sleeping bag, like, foot pouch thing, and somehow attached on, but the couch is getting a face, it's coming alive. Though, I gotta do something for the teeth, gotta, like, make it have some more structure to it, I think. Because it's just too floppy. Stretchy blanket with stretchy teeth fabric is a bad combination to sew. It was frustrating. I couldn't quite get it lined up right, and I just had to, like, stretch it to fit the couch properly and be a good row of teeth. But it's like, I can't really get eaten by the couch easily. It's a difficult task. So the best option is to make a second set of teeth with a pillow sheet thing that goes all the way across. And then you have, like, the top set of jaws, and you have the bottom set of jaws, and then you sit in your jaw chair. It's like when the eyeballs exit the human, and they, like, go for a drive and then hop into their new human convertible car. Oh, I can't remember the name of that artist, though. It's gonna bug me. Oh. They're always used for, like, those breakcore albums, their artwork. Oh, that's gonna bug me so much. Yeah. It's difficult to place. I'll have to find the name of the artist later, but... yeah. Whee! So yeah, it's really difficult to place the you in the stuffs. Because as Basil said, all of this just confuses other people and makes them scared. They're just like, I'm already crazy, or they're like, I'm like plotting. I'm really plotting. Furbunculous domination. Because they smell like blueberry cheesecake and they're very yummy. Wait, no. They just smell good, they don't taste good, they're furry and fluffy, and I almost think that's a good tongue texture. Fluffy is nice because it's almost like a synesthesia to me, where the texturalness of fluffy as a descriptor and or a texture is what I, like, track as being synonymous with, like, warm, comfy, cozy, happy feeling, like, emotion. It's a translation of texture to emotion, I think. Because some people can, like, smell colors or, like, hear colors and things like that. And whilst it might not be necessarily the exact same thing, the answer is yeah, very much so. Fluffy is just translation to yes. Happy, good, comfy, warm, fuzzy, feely. Emotion-wise. But I also like the texture too. It just, the texture evokes the emotion. That's how you do it. Yes. Alright, let me grab the money. I try not to... Not money, I see that captions. Up. Blah. I mean, that was a little calminger than pure lemon juice, but not sour enough. No, it's bad when Crave and I will just take shots of lemon juice. Who needs the other juice when you can have just lemon juice? Although Basil only makes stir-fried with lemons for the most part. It's just pure lemon juice, basically. Throw in some meat, noodles, stir-fry. Just fill the entire bowl with lemon juice and it's lemon now. We all love lemons so much. Why? I just realized I might have had the spooky sock playing this entire time. Oh no. No? Okay. Alright. Whew. I thought this was gonna be so unnerving. Oh. Yeah. So, in trying to place oneself and make understanding and comprehension of the confusing, you have to give and take. Because I realized, like, yeah, there's always going to be the technical hiccups, but hearing from Craven or whatnot of other streamers they watched, like, literally they're just like, no. I've literally watched someone just, like, move tech around for an hour long before starting their video thing or stream properly and, like, doing whatever they were setting out to do. Like, it's normal. And as an art person, I'm like, that confuses me and upsets me a little bit because I'm just like, no, it has to be right, it has to be this way. Because normally it's the whole, like, you've worked for a very extenuous period of time making this piece of art, and it has to be kind of, like, right. But, that's just not how it goes for live things for the most part, and usually I've, like, rehearsed and practiced it a bajillion times. And the nature of this is kind of not that. So, yeah. Whilst there are sometimes technical hiccups that's absolutely boggle my mind, I'm just like, how dare you not have the audio track attached because you have multiple audio tracks, and if I use my normal software it doesn't compute all the audio tracks, and so then it gets no audio, and then I'm just like, yes, it's done, it's good, and I thought it would just output with all the audio once I exported it, but no, and then I uploaded it. Oh, it's such a mess. Yeah, so my bad. At least I know and I can, like, write down the process. But alas, you don't always get to have the perfection. And that's kind of how life goes. And you gotta kind of accept that and let it be. It's okay. To an extent. There are certain things, like, you should really test and be sure of. Fish yells bad words to me. Yeah, that was upsetting. And whilst it was just like, oh, that's such a disappointment. I was so excited for it. And then I had to just, like, destroy it. It was so good that it was, like, just really chill. Because it was just, like, one thing or whatnot. And I was just like, okay, I now know the issue. I know the concern. And I can just destroy this. Goodbye. Yeah. I mean, reading through, like, a several page long list of mean words that I'm just like, I don't even know what half of this is talking about. It's it just is. But, like, yeah, I think it's now, like, good. So, once I optimize those settings, it might actually read all the messages in proper order. I don't know why. It did it to some of Craven's too. It's like nothing on the list of don't say should have triggered this, but it's just going boop boop boop. But I mean, sometimes you get a sassy fish, so just deal with it. But yeah, like there's so much to continually learn and build up. Like even just in YouTubing. Like, I understand to an extent, like, most especially how other people's things work and build up their stuff. But it's like, a lot of times you don't really see the start, and that's the part that's kind of, like, most important to understand. Because, like, once you have peoples and things, it's just like, peoples know using things. But when you don't have that yet, it's just like, what am I supposed to do? Because I know so many people say the whole thing of, like, don't do variety content at the start. And I'm like, I understand, and that's fair. I understand the whole notion of, like, pick a niche or a lane. And, like, once you find something that works, you just, like, keep going with that. But, Craven has said to me so many times, yeah, no, you're just variety by design. You can't, hun. And I'm like, I know that. Like, there's a reason why I'm not, just a fine art painter or things like that. I have always done interdisciplinary. Like, yeah, you have to take a certain amount of credentials of different types for how my program was set up. But it was, like, literally, most people did not take nearly as many, like, studio courses and stuff, and to as many different mediums as I did to as high of a level as I possibly could. Like, I was truly a jack of all trades. And even then, it's like, I go to printmaking class and I'm like, hey, can I, like, make a thermo thing that'll change colors and stuff? And they're like, sure. Just please don't put an apple in our laser printer. I didn't put an apple in a laser printer, but I baked a print that I carved into an apple into bread as well. It was fun and cool. Or, like, you go to photo class and you make a fake mascot of chip bags and a lenticular because it's both cute and terrifying. Little froggy gremlin. Yeah, I just really like those plushie bags that have, like, the stuffed animals in them. So I made a fake mascot and printed a bunch of really interesting chip bags themed around the frog. But there was also a play on distortion, because digitally you can, like, distort, swirl, and warp tools, but you can't really do that with physical stuff as easily to the same effect. So I did those digital translations, and then I put them onto a physical, like, print thing of the chip bags, and sewed them up, and then would, like, crumple and frumple them. I still should have put some tinfoil in for Foley sound effects, I know. Wasn't crunchy enough. But, like, if you, like, pinch the foam of the chips with your teeth hard enough, it makes a loud little squeaky sound that's awful on the ears. I've learned that the hard way. It's just as awful on the teeth, don't. I am still concerned that someone actually managed to, like, bite through one of those chips and just, like, tear the foam, and I'm like, how did you do that, sir? Also, not sure why they handed me it back afterwards. They're like, here. And I'm like, huh? What am I supposed to do with this? University students, huh? I mean, again, that's probably I hate to say it, but it might just be kind of a boy thing. Because, like, I can be goofy and weird like that, but, like, no. That is something I would not do. But that also might just be because most of my friends would just be like, absolute ick. They could not deal with that. Yeah, that might be the case. So whilst don't necessarily variety by design for most people, it's not the best method, most people also don't have the weird, particular set of skills that this particular set of being has. Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people that do streaming or content-y things and whatnot, if you wish to call it that, I still kind of refuse to an extent. Like, most of them aren't, fine artists. Like, especially in the VTuber community, depending on... I don't know if it's as common for indies or whatnot, but, like, so many streamers, like, especially corpo-wise, it's, like, really normalized of, like, they don't have to make their thumbnails for the most part. It's just like, oh, these people have made thumbnails for me. I like this one, I'll use it this week. And, like, yeah, they're usually decent about it and stuff, give credit type things or whatnot. And, like, there's basically a written agreement thing of just, like, note that this is going to be used for this, or, like, you're giving permission for this use. But at the same time, it's just, like, it's so interesting to me. Because I just sit and I'm just like, I want to make everything and this and that. And even in YouTubing sphere, most people are just like, once I'm big enough, I'm gonna, like, hire an editor to edit my videos. And I'm just like, absolutely not. That's not what I want. Not one bit. No. You're not gonna get this absolute chaos if I have someone else edit it for me. Because whatever error in filming or whatnot, or audios and things, or even in, like, uploading, like, you're not gonna get the same effect as if I did it, because I then build on that. It's the iteration. It's the, why have a normal roast that's taken so many takes and you're just like, yes, this is good, I'm happy with it, only to realize your computer, got angry at the processing power you were using, and so it scuffed the audio at the end, and you're like, shit, what do I do? Ah, yes, it's by design. It's gonna be a spooky week, in a way, because being vulnerable and open with your heart is spooky and karaoke and spooktacular, because my model's very fluffy and cute, and I think that's giving too much goofy to people. Yeah. So, instead, we went, just make the ending more and more spooktacular and add more over-top effects type thing to make it seem like it's building on something, it's a direction. But, alas, it was mostly just computer got angry. And so while we've built up it, and from it, it's still a matter of, oh my goodness, no. Why? I'm so upset. I was happy with the take. Oh. Maybe it was computer space, that was why I was angry too. I don't know. It yells at me sometimes, and I'm like, I have room for a photo, please. That's what the extra hard drives are for. It's okay. So yeah, you gotta be able to roll with the punches, have a sense of humor. It's good for us all. Very good. And that's where you gotta just kind of see what makes sense. Because yes, if you truly do entirely tonally disjointed stuff, it won't come across very cohesive and confuse people. And as a person who confuses people both in person and online, yeah, that's not gonna help me. So I have to make some concessions at times, and I'm like, okay, what is an acceptable level of variety? How do I tie all these things together? Because while it's like, yeah, I'm the same person doing the things, if people don't necessarily know the person yet or whatnot, and that's not their investment, then it doesn't matter what things I do. They will watch maybe one specific thing, and then that's it. So, this is where you can bake in variety. I mean, it's yet to be... I mean, maybe other people have proven it, I don't know. But, the idea is that I am absurd, I do weird things, and that's kind of just how it be. And I can move those things in different manners and ways. Because I never intended to be mainstreamy normal. Like, I understand the appeal of, like, playing a game and stuff and whatnot. But also, like, oh, no, I couldn't sit and do that forever. I'd feel like I'm not doing enough. Maximalist gets bored easily, so constantly has to keep learning and innovating and pushing stuff. So therefore, I just need to make it so that the variety is baked into the concept. So, in picking a theme and having a question, or like, this is kind of the stuff that's going to happen this week or that, it builds on those concepts. And whilst not every time it's going to have to be like, I'm going to play a game that's themed around this thing, or I'm going to cook something, like, you can have those as set avenues of exploration, but you just have like a different sort of theme bit each week. Because throughout the different varieties and stuff of established things, you can then be like, this makes sense for this idea, and so people who like the theme or the question being explored will still have fun and enjoy this, and also a matter of, like, it continues a skill or thing that's already been established. Like, if I'm doing something like, school, like it could be making a bento or something, like school lunches. That'd be such a good idea for next week. Yeah, revamping the school lunch. Maybe let's not terrify people. My poor friend is like, please don't tell me you've ever shown, like, a foreign student that you put cherry sauce on top of rice, and I'm like, oh yeah, I totally did. They were just like, okay. My friend was in tears. They're like, no, you monster. And I'm like, it's fine. It's all good. Don't start the do you wash your rice discussion. What a fun time. But yeah, it's like one of those things you have to try and figure out, even in variety, a through line. Because unless you can convince people specifically that you are the you gotta find other ways to connect and reach people at first. To some extent. Creators are always going to be a part of their content. No helping that. Because you have to make the decisions and choices of directions and stuff. So yeah. You gotta just build in your things of how you want to do stuff. And whilst not every series will be as long per se, it's also a matter of just like, you open yourself up to have that avenue and flexibility. Because if you truly just do the whole, like, become one thing, you'll feel the burnout more. Like, I know I've heard other streamers or whatnot be like, if you're into Minecraft, and you can just, like, play it, like, seemingly forever and stuff, just be a Minecraft streamer. Don't bother with anything else, just play Minecraft. You don't even have to have, like, voiceover or things at times. And it's just like, yeah, it is a genre thing that's been long-staying, but, like, I know even some of the big, like, Hermitcraft members are just like, I get so burnt out. Like, they have played Minecraft for years at this point, so they gotta just keep finding new ways to, like, amuse themselves, make things entertaining. That's why, like, solo Minecraft worlds are so hard, unless you set up, like, a specific challenge or something. Because then it's just like, you've kind of done it all. You got no one else to innovate or build ideas from. You're just stuck in your own world. And so that's where things like, I guess even collabs to an extent is very helpful. Because it, like, gives you more people to bounce off of and things. It makes you be not stuck in your world and methodology all the time, and lets you sort of, like, reach out and merge into other spheres. For example, like, the whole gaming streaming community type deal, like, a lot of those people, if they are not mainly established, they get built-in audiences based on the games they play. So, like, if you're not very specific into a genre or niche type thing, or, like, a master-level big brain at a specific game, you kind of do a trend hopping or pick the games that are more notable, because people will already be looking for those things. They have built-in audiences and fans. Same thing with picking a smaller category of game, like a very specific, like, unknown indie game thing or something. And, like, it's a different genre of people and sphere, but, like, you'll still have a sort of built-in audience, where with variety things, it's, you gotta kind of build your audience around you in a way. Or, like, just, as I said, you gotta pick their shtick. And with a maximalist of variety, it was really tough to pick a shtick. But in how I've always structured my things to have a message or exploration of some sort of idea to them, and that's why I can sometimes be really stiff. Because, like, I can talk to people for hours, but for the most part, I'm just like, I don't know if this is what someone wants to actually hear me say. Like, I don't find it as beneficial to me in, like, what I'm delivering, because I'm like, I didn't plan to say or deliver this information type thing. And, like, especially if people don't ask for specific information or, like, chat, I'm just like, I don't know what you want to hear. Because, like, it's a lack of feedback in a way. So you gotta be able to kind of strike a balance. Because, like, it's so bad. Off stream, I sound like a streamer. Like, I'd run into Craven's room and, like, just make a stupid joke and, like, T-pose at them, and then just run away with them throwing a pillow or something at me, and I'm laughing my ass off. But, yeah. I get on stream and I'm just like, okay, this is the plot line. This is the specific purpose and point, and I have to get this idea or message somehow conveyed throughout the whatever on earth happens in between. I very rarely script things. If there is a very specific message I'm trying to weave, I will script something, but it's very rare. Because for the most part, it's like, you're gonna, through the performance of the action and doing things, you will get to the point and the message, because the abstract will convey it better than the direct statement, in terms of, like, very specific nuances in a way. But alternatively, the answer is also, like, you just need the specific end goal statement, and you kind of work back from that. Yeah. Oh, I love the hand delay. Ooh. So, there's manners of that. Like, most people won't think through things in the same manner, but I'm just like, oh yes, I saw this error or hiccup, and then I gotta switch and pivot this into how I edited or things in order to make this work, because that'll then build onto this idea and concept that transfers over to that. Like, I can fully work and plan out a system in my head, even if I have, like, a million and one different jot note things, whereas most people, it's like, they have to sit and fully plan that, whereas I can just, like, work it on the fly. A good example is impromptu photo shoots. Did an entire sock-themed magazine, and I gave a presentation video thing at a live event, and I was like, okay, I have actual physical, like, buttons for rewards for anyone willing to give me their socks for photos type deal. So, like, everyone swarmed me, and I was like, okay, this was, like, set up as, like, almost a movie theater thing, with, like, all the chairs and stuff. So there's, like, next to no space, there's no proper lighting, I just have, like, DSLR camera on me, and I'm like, okay, how do I make this work? And, like, I just entirely improvised the setups for each one. Like, one person was a musician, they had their guitar, and they're like, let's have the sock play the guitar, and they just kind of, like, placed it over the guitar and, like, posed it. And I was like, oh, there's, like, this purple glow over here. Set it there. And then I'll just, like, boom. Like, oh my gosh. I thought nothing of it, genuinely. But, like, the people there are just like, how did you do this? Because I was showing them the, like, the unedited raw photos on my camera. They're like, oh my god, like, you really cooked. And I'm like, what do you mean? I just, like, removed the excess colors from the framing of the shot and stuff, and, like, angle it so it would fit the space, and yada yada. But, like, yeah, I don't think about these things, which is why when I tried to, like, figure out the weird skills I've collected, it's such a struggle. You really lack perspective on yourself unless other people, like, knock on the door type thing and be like, hey, this is a thing. People don't do this thing. People don't think this way, or have forks these sizes. I swear my forks are a normal size, but no. Craven and my other friends will all just be like, your forks are oversized, your cutlery's too big, and I'm like, I have baby hands, how? You just have small cutlery. I mean, there is, like, the babiest of baby spoon, and it is not mine. And it's just used as a normal spoon by our one friend, and I'm like, what? Why are you guys upset with me? You should be upset over that, not mine. I just wanted rainbow cutlery. That's all. That's all you can ask for in life, rainbow cutlery. Okay, maybe you could ask for, like, a butt stallion as well, but, like, you don't always get that. And that's okay. But yeah, you just can't always place the skills and things that you've built up that you now just accept. Like, being able to translate colors to values, like, on the fly. Being able to, like, balance photo lightings and stuff. Being able to make some technology stuff, do the technology things. Yeah. Like, I could, for the most part, rhyme off this stuff and explain it to someone. They'd just be like, I can't make heads or tails of anything you said. But that's just a normal, mundane thing to me now. Like, you get the certain key foundation elements, and then you can just kind of do what you want. I always disliked that about high school. It's like, you have to learn the fundamentals and then you can have fun and break all the rules in a way. But it is true. Like, I think most of my classmates would struggle to try and make an ink type thing, but from making ink from scratch or whatnot, and adding all the modifiers and compounds, it's just like, I can just like lift up ink and tell by texture, I'm like, this'll work or this won't, and how to move it and adapt it to do what I need it to do. Like, I just... And it's not entirely experiential, it's like, it's knowing certain things you're looking for in qualities. It's the same thing in a photo, like, I have my style, I have my taste of what I like, but sometimes I'm just like, okay, I do have to give in, it's supposed to be a thumbnail, it has to be somewhat legible if I am using text or something, or you just have to bump up certain contrast points so that you can, like, tell the definition in the face, instead of it just being, like, ghosted in the background, because it's not always going to be as large as I view it. I always look on the mini iPad, and that happens. But that's not how most people YouTube. A lot of people YouTube on their phone, and I'm just like, for the most part, could not be me. Like, if it's, I have to just go somewhere and I want to catch a bit of a stream or something, yeah, I'll just, like, pull up on my phone briefly, but that's about it. I am iPad all the way. And then there's the other people who are, like, totally computer route. They just want to, like... They just want to clip on their computer while they work and stuff, and they can, like, flop over the stream and, like, smack verbs and language into their chats of the person, and they leave. Or they'll, like, watch and just be like, what do you think of my hippopotamus? I don't think hippopotamus is something people will type often. I just won't even spell hippopotamus. Spelling bees are not my friends. Verbs are not my friends. Linguistics are not my friends. Intonation, also not my friend. Soundtracks is not a thing. Yeah. Oh, I think maybe it's pronunciation and sometimes accent. Yeah, I can't place things well. Because I can move my accent around at times, but, like, talking hard. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Talking can be hard. Because you can't always roll your R's well, or your tongue tied, and it's like, bleh. My tongue incompetency. Yeah. I actually used to be very bad at talking. To the point that I had to practice, like, every single day at lunch to be able to say flamingo. I could not say flamingo, I couldn't make, like, a f sound. Or a shush. And that's because I was a tongue-tied. Yeah. It, happens. That's okay. But yeah, it's one of those things where I'm not always the best at placing stuff. Just plain simply because I am tongue-tied. It's actually difficult. But you just get better over time. You practice, you put in the work. Like, my Kermit the Frog impression used to suffer so much. And now I've managed to, like, push it up. I've leveled up the Kermit the Frog. A little bit at times. Just a little bit. I like my monkey hat. Ah! Ow. Ooh. I scrumpled my Legos. Wait, not Legos, legs. When you forget what parts of the body are. Ah yes, my Lego man. My inner brick builder. This is not vocabulary. Ah. Man. Water bottle? Wait, we have soda. Ah. Okay, I don't want to hurt your ears. Hold on. Oh yeah. Just Lain geeking out on the web with some soda. As one should. That was gonna be bad. I missed the soda mouth hole for soda-ing. Oh my gosh. I soda'd. I didn't fail to drink soda. I failed at drinking water so many times in past, but no. Soda was victorious. Yes. So glad. So glad. Oh my gosh. Woo. I'm so glad that soda was victorious. That would have been really lame if I failed to drink soda. I mean, it's bad enough I failed to drink water without spilling it all the time, but we won against soda. I'm happy with that. I will accept that. Yes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I just realized something. Okay. Okay, hear me out. What if I slide this slider up? Whoop, 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 whoop. Okay, wait. I don't think that actually made the difference I thought it was gonna make. Oh my gosh. Wow. What I just noticed was, oh my god. I can't believe I did this. Yeah, okay, I'll admit it. I seem to have had the master output for stream volume at like halfway. And I was like, wow! Like, maybe that's why sometimes, like, it's really difficult for me to tell audio-wise what's too high or low. Because I usually have my mic muted on my end, so I don't hear it. But, like, even when I check at the output, I'm just like, oh, that sounds fine. But, like, I don't always have the same, like, audio level as what's actually being output, even when testing it, so it's confusing to me, because every set of headphones and things has a different volume it likes. So I always forget which volume level it should be at, that it should be super audible at one versus the other. And oh my goodness, yeah. I was like, wow, maybe I've just had the stream volume output at half for like weeks on end. But no. At least not for the mic. The mic is just a skill issue. It's just because I don't have it as face to my face as it should be facing. I say ominously leaning over the mic and being kind of spooky. Yeah, because it also shows kind of different audio levels depending on the things. So it's like, wow. Oh my gosh, why did I get the double yummers, huh? Spooky. So, alas, it turns out if you slide the mic master volume up, it just moves all the dials up, but if the mic volume is already maxed, then it's already maxed for output. Huzzah! I have not entirely lost my internetly minds. Good job. Why was that the accent? Oh my... I cannot place it. Wow, what a yummers. I don't know why that showed up now. Ah. But alas, Lain is not always omnipotent. Lain has foreseen some weird stuff of the future, but yeah. Not always what we're looking for. Soda. Spookily yummers. So, what was Pondering the Internet Orbital about? This is not a summary. This is me forgetting a hotkey and being upset about it. Look, it's an internet oddity. It's a weird manatee. It's variety by design. It's absurd by a choice. We have to be able to be more honest with ourselves. to bear forth our hearts. So, don't let your heart fall apart. Circling back to many long ago things, I made a tree. The tree's actually secretly behind me, behind the other magical curtain. Well, it's holding up the curtain. I'm so sorry, microphone. It's holding up the curtain thing, or whatever. Basically, I had a tree. Because after, in some way or another, having the realization that I'm not a performer, I do performance work. This just is me, unfortunately, and confusingly to most people. I just have to accept that and be able to explain it regardless. So, with that being said, I have to be mindful of my goofiness. Because whilst I find this is very fun and entertainingly amusing, most other people will be like, wow, you're just a crazy person on the internet. And like, even in real life, because this is how I be, and this is lame attire for me. I'm just like chill Lain, and not a fluffy teddy bear with googly eyes. I still have my googly eyes on though. Don't worry about that. But yeah, it confounds and confuses most people, and so they don't really get it, and they also just think I'm kind of crazy. Though usually in a nice way. They're just like, you're so bold and brave. And like, it's not said in the demeaning sense that you assume most people would be like, oh, you're so bold, so brave. No, it's just like, literally, it's just like, man, I couldn't do that. And I'm like, this just is. This is every day. But yeah. So it's important to know your stuffs. And so as to combat my confoundedly confusingness, I just have to be sternly goofy. That's right. We gotta know when to turn on the goofy lights. The goofy socks. Light up socks? Why don't we have light up socks? Damn. I want light up socks. Alright then. Let's do this. We need to be more serious about our goofinings. But if we're always goofinings, no one will understand that we're serious about goofily serious. So, compromises must be made. You have to establish that the absurdity is intentional. It's on point. It's on brand. You have to think through all the systems, because most people will not see the systems in the same manner in which you do. Where on earth are my marker numbers? Ah! Yeah! Okay, big brain. Smack of the number. Boom. Alright, here's the rundown. YouTube is a system, and the system has to be built to circulate the content. If you are variety by design, but you are not already established, you therefore have to make it so that there is some central feature aside from just you, if people don't know you yet, to keep them coming back. This is why, even if you don't do a mainstream thing that has a built-in audience, like playing a specific game or genre, and you still do variety things, you have to have the through line that connects it all together. So, you bake in the variety as part of the concept. You have a higher overarching theme that connects the things together in order to make the stuff work. And that way, you are unable to be variety from the start. And it's not inconsistent, it's not incohesive. It builds up to the narrative and qualities. Choose wisely. Yeah. That was not the speech I was supposed to have. No! Once upon a time, I built a tree. And upon this tree, I cried for many hours, writing out, printing, and transcribing a bunch of wishes and regrets. Because after learning that I'm not a performer, I'm just someone who does performance art, because I just am and is what I is, I then was just like, wow, I need to keep going. I need to be able to give back more to people and make them not have to go through the same upsets and pains I have. So, I wrote a tree, filled it with my wishes and regrets that I put on display at public gallery. And, yeah. Most people weren't really willing to add a wish or regret to it, nor interact to an extent. But overall, they then at least got to see something take what information they may or want it. I'm gonna let those loose again. They shall be ripped out of me heart. Ooh, idea. Oh, that's not gonna fit. They're too big. Okay, never mind. But yeah, I'm going to kind of go through a decent amount of those again. Because with the goofiness and seemingly absurdity I am to most people, I'm not seen as a people. Even in people that actually genuinely know me. They're just as confused as everyone else. So if you think the real life people are confused, oh, the internet people are more confused. Oh, it's bad. So, you gotta be able to explain things. Gotta be able to, like, be brazen and bold enough to say it so flatly and plainly, point of fact, that it will make sense. So, in being brazen and bold and point of fact, so that people understand, yeah, most of my stuff is iterative. It's built on things. There's the fact, there's the fiction, there's the absolute chaos. But like, cloaked in darkness type thing in a title, it's because I didn't have a proper backdrop, so I actually took cloak and just draped it on the back. So, hence the title, Cloaked in Darkness, and yeah. This is the state of being. It's genuine. Things like having a goofy, oversized storybook with a poem bit in it, that's not just a random thing I had. Those aren't just throwaway lines. There is metaphor and nuance. There's indirect things that won't be stated explicitly. But it's not a lie. It is the truth. At 19, I basically reached a point where I could hardly walk at times. Had to support myself with a cane. I really did just watch my life fall apart and say, alright, what are we doing instead then? And that was plain and simple. We just did what we were gonna do instead. There's so much things I just don't think about per se. I don't need those lessons anymore. I don't need said upsets, really. They just are. And while sometimes they'll be a built-up in consequence of other things, and you have to be reminded of them, most of the time, I don't know what to offer to other people of those lessons, because they don't serve me anymore. I mean, the classic thing that comes to mind is pretty much just, there's a difference between being nice and giving kindness or compassion or caring. Oftentimes people think being nice is like saying nothing or like being supposedly polite. But that's not usually or necessarily the most helpful thing. Because if no one's willing to actually have an actual conversation or be genuine in what they're saying, then no conversation has occurred. There is no communication if nothing was actually communicated. We have to be able to give out in order to receive. And that's where I think a lot of people suffer and struggle from things. Like, so many observing other friendships or interactions with people, like, I can't make sense of it. I'm so used to just being, like, very direct and forthcoming with my friends and people I know, that I just can't place other people not being able to just open up. It's not that I'm, like, going to go at them or be forceful, but, like, if you're having an actual proper conversation about something, you should be able to express it and talk about it. Like, it can be emotional whiplash for some people, and you have to be able to set boundaries. But, like, it's so counter to how I interact. Like, a lot of people can't take criticism very well. And I mean, it's a hard skill to learn, but oh my goodness, I would rather just have Craven, like, just roast me for, like, 20 minutes than sit and deal with myself being upset over something for, like, 3 hours crying my eyes out because I left a computer mouse over top of my face because of the stupid technological thing that it was dealing with at the time for a sock dance thing. I was dancing with sock puppet and I was happy. But yeah, more productive to just have them, like, lay it flat to me than me just wallow in upset and be like, but what did I do, or how do I do this, what? Yeah, no. You're your own worst critic. So, like, some people don't actually give actual criticism properly. But you can just get people who can actually be productive in giving feedback or clarify what is acceptable types of feedback. It's the whole debate of, are you looking for comfort and someone to talk to and be supportive? Or are you looking for someone to solve your problems? Big difference. I'm often the person who will, like, try to just give even just generic, like, advice. Not necessarily in the, like, I'm demanding you to do this route, but, like, the just, it's soft support, so you can gauge and get feedback from them of, do they want to actually hash this out and deal with the thing, or do they just want to be comforted and given nice words? So yeah, clarification required. It is a challenge by choice. And remember, Food Fight is an awful animated movie, and I love it. Everyone always mixes it up with Sausage Party, but no, these are two very different, weird food-themed movies. Yeah. They're an absolute cacophony of why. But someone said yes to this. And it just lives rent-free. I don't know why this is the state, but I have to accept that there is no way for me to not accept that for whatever reason, Food Fight the movie is an explanation and divulging of affection that makes sense to me. If someone is willing to Dex Dog Detective to my sunshine rays of goodness, then I'm just like, yes, this makes sense. Like, I don't know. The dialogue's awful, it's so bad. But, like, that's what makes it good to me. I'm just like, yes! Ah. Yeah. A little introspection goes a long way. So, in the air of letting this be less confusing, now, the big thing. You're allowed to ask. You're allowed to talk to other people type thing, and it's not a burden. They get to choose what they supply in return in their interaction. So, it's fine. Don't be rude. Don't have a set expectation. Just ask. Go for it. Because you won't know if you don't try. I think the biggest thing for me has been I didn't know who to ask or what to say. Because I'm stubborn in the way of, like, if I can't be very specific and articulate in something, I don't feel comfortable that I'm, like, genuine in interacting or talking to someone type thing. Because, like, I feel like it would reflect poorly on me, even if it's not done in a bad way at all. I'm just like, no, I need to be, like, properly knowledgeable on the person type thing, or they're, like, what they're doing or streaming and stuff, and then, like, genuinely, like, full send engage. But I don't think that's how most people do it. And it's really limiting, Because I know no one in the sphere. Like, no. And it's rough because I gotta figure everything out on my own. So, there's only so much you get to do in that sense. And I have to accept that you can't always full send like that. Yeah, you gotta cut back a little bit. It's just like with the thumbnails. Okay, I had a little too much fun today, but I've like pulled it back to what it has to do or convey. And whilst today made more sense to be absolute funky monkeys, yeah, you gotta be able to have your give and take. So, to that end, you can only offer what you have to others, or give what you have to them, and that's it. You can't do anything more. All you can do is give the best you. Or at least the you can muster up that day. So yeah. Treat yourself with a bit more kindness. And I mean others too. You can have your things that you won't change or whatnot, and have your boundaries or limits, but you gotta be willing to, in a weird way, put yourself out there even more than you already are out there. Bare your heart. So yeah. Here's to being able to eat foods again. Being able to having more health. Mentally and physically. Being able to eat foods again and stuff, and build more friendships or relationships. Being able to walk and move about. Explore new creations, opportunities, work and things. Yeah. Here's to celebrating adventures. I'm trying so hard not to cry. Oh, Friday's gonna be so bad. I'm staring at the pile of wishes and regrets. We are never alone. Present day, present time, present year, past, present, future. We're never alone and never have been. And that's simply because everything of the now is a result of the people of the past, the present, and the current, and the future. So, yeah. Even in upset, we're not alone. Because all of the ideas and things that came before and built things up are already there for us now. So that we can reach further. So, let's reach further. Here's to... Oh, I can clink the thing. There's a little bit of soda left. Okay, ready? And 1. And 2. Hee! Oh, that was... Okay, I shouldn't shake it, but like... It was an anticlimactic little clink. That's better. So, here's to keeping things wild and wacky. Because I never thought about most of this. I just kind of be and am the way I be. And whilst I personally feel upset, I love the things I make and do, even in their weirdness or mishaps. The thing that was most important to most other people was not that at all. It was me. And the way of thinking and stuff. Because I just couldn't see it any other way. I would never look at making a magazine about ceiling fans and parody of Playboy magazines as anything but a serious, genuine question. Why aren't we asking that? Why won't we do that and venture that? Why are we so scared or uncomfortable of talking about things? But yeah, we have to be able to look at the real world through absurdities and fiction in order to make it and reach for something that we didn't think a possibility. All the things that can make us unfamiliar or strange to others, or outside of the norm, are all the things that usually tend to make us us, and who we are, what we do. We are the only ones who can make or do or be ourselves. So, why wouldn't you do that? It's not like you can be someone else. So, in all our multiplicity, our transitioning and transformations, let's celebrate for once just being us. What? The monkey hat is falling. Yeah. But wait, there's more hat. Oh my gosh. Ugh. That's right. Oh, okay, well, there was more hat. Oh yeah, double hat. And a hair tie, because hair long, it didn't want to be Lain-like. Get in the right lane. What? So, here's to asking for more of the world, and more from the world. Do cooler stuff, world. Don't be a grumpy bean. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's be better. Let's do more. One. So one last time. Bare your heart. Be you. And just ask. You'll never find the answer or hear the words. Hear the words unless you ask. So, at least for now, hear from yourself. You got this. Rock on. And get your goofy socks on. Because no one gets to you better than you. Got their own things to do. So, let's do our own things too. Have fun. Stay out of too much sun, I guess. Like, I don't know, you might vampire roast. Don't be an energy vampire too. You have to look after you in order to help anyone else around you. So, logging off from the wired. Hopefully the couch will be nice. Don't eat anyone else. This was not enough, but also too much introspection. Brain fried. But this is only from the start. This Friday's gonna get worse. Be proud of what you've done. And I mean, have some fun. Oh, it's too goofy. It's fun. Yeah. Fake it till you make it, huh? You gotta be the you wanna be. 4. Good to be the you wanna be. Yippee! Alright. Say.